Good evening. Good evening.
Hey there. I can't see the thing now. Hello, good people.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Go ahead and share this if you're coming on. It is 8 o'clock on the dot, 8:00. And we can give you some time to jump on here, whether you're on whether you are on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching from. Let us know you are watching. Let us know where you're watching from. And then we're not going to jump in just yet. We're going to give you a minute to come in, a minute to get situated. Some of you are cooking. Some of you are eating. Some of you are just coming in with the children, because I know we're still in a quarantine where people are out and about already. Yeah, come on in. Roberto, I see you.
Hey, Victor.
Hey, Shanae. Victor, my main man. Michelle, listen, I need you all to share this. I need you all to share it. Say hello. Say hello, not just to us, but to others that are on here. Tell us where you're watching from, so we can know that you are on. Some are watching from the Lifelines page. Some are watching from my page. Some are watching from YouTube. But wherever you're watching from, yeah, just jump right on here. Good. How she said she's wonderful. How are you? We are wonderful.
We are
I was sitting out here earlier, and I said, let's just go live from out here. That'll be good, something different. And of course, she's like, it's cold out here, and there may be some bugs out here, and all of that.
So if you see me swatting, just know.
But I think it's going to work. So yeah, hello, Lawanda. My mom is on. Yeah, he's watching from my page. Yeah, there's people watching from a couple different places. So tell us where. Yeah, good stuff. Patrina's always on here.
Yeah.
And Patrina always has good questions. So get your questions ready for Trina. We're gonna dive into them tonight. It's gonna be a good night. We're gonna hit it. We're gonna quit it. Good. I got a feeling. Ooh. Listen, I got my. How do you pronounce this?
Albanese.
Albanese. I got my. If you have not had Albanese gummy bears, it says world's best. I think they are. The thing about sitting outside, my boys are out here running around begging for my stuff. But if you've not had, you want to come over here?
Yeah.
Right your hand. If you've not had Albanese
it's sour too.
gummy bears, you ought to go to Jewel or somewhere and get you some. Hey Kia, hey Sabrina,
Kia,
hey
give that baby a
Octavia,
kiss for me.
Michelle Wilson, come on in, share the live. Let us know you're watching. We kind of split it because some of you may not see some other people because they're watching from someplace else. There are people watching from YouTube, people watching from my page, Lifeline's page, Maryland's page. Amina says Albanese are great. They listen. We drove last week to
Tennessee.
Where did we drive?
Tennessee.
We drove to Tennessee, and on the way back, we saw this billboard that says Albanese outlet, candy outlet. And man, I took the next exit and stopped by there. And you know, when you get these from like Jewel or Walmart, they're like $25 a bag. Well, we got a big old bag, man. Not a big bag anymore, for like $3.17. Look at that. So if you ever in whatever part of Indiana we was coming through,
it was Maryville.
Stop and get some of these. Hey, Tanya Ellis, Eric Hill, Sabrina says throw something on the grill. Well, we're on the front porch. Next time we'll go on the back porch and we'll throw something on the grill. But yeah, I was talking about these. These are pretty good. One more minute and then we will start. My dad is on. What's happening, Dad? Hey, Candy Mims. Yeah. So how have you guys been today? How's your day been? How's your week been? Are you thanking God that tomorrow is Friday? Are you ready for the weekend? Because I know we got all these plans to put our mask on and go out and do. Right. I don't know about you, but I'm about tired of that mask.
Yeah.
And I don't know how
they
many.
They say they must be good because we snap.
I don't know how many masks. How many times I pulled up to a store and got out the car and got all the way in the door and realized I didn't have my mask.
And they ain't letting them in.
How many of y'all you've done that too? I had to go back to the car and get my mask, and it's just too much. And don't, some of these stores you got the Karens and stuff in the front or walking through there making sure you putting that mask on. What's up, Tremaine? Yeah, listen, don't just come on and get situated. Share the live, invite somebody on. If you know somebody who wants to grow with us, notice I didn't say that we can teach about communication, that wants to grow with us in this area of communication. Tag them and put their name in the thing there. What's up, Paris? Tag them.
Marsha Holmes.
Marsha, tag them or share it on their page or something. But we're gonna get started in just a minute. I wanna bring up, because we got some special people on the line with us.
Sabrina said she got plans for me to make a caramel cake. Oh, you got some big plans. You must have saw my new mixer. Glory to God.
Yeah, because the boys been making those cookies. London got the mixer. She used it maybe times a year,
2-3 times a year to make my caramel.
But since we've been on this lockdown, the boys took a liking to baking. They've been baking 2-3 times a week,
and they didn't even ask me about using my mixer.
They done burned out the dog.
Burned it out.
Burned it
all
out.
the way out.
It's done.
We had a funeral for it and everything.
Yeah. So I was saying I'm still holding the same one because I'm talking.
And I didn't ate about 4 of them.
Good Lord. They soft and they sour.
They
got cherry and grape, and I like it. They have like more flavors than other ones, and they actually taste like the flavor. Like it ain't grape looking. Then when you bite into it, it's just like some old bad black licorice or something. But, but anyway, we got some special people on with us tonight that's going to help us engage with you, and also maybe jump in some of the conversation as well, because it's just not a class. Right. It's a lab. We're gonna work together and talk together. Reginald Steele, what's happening, man? That now Reginald Steele is a good man because he has a great first name. We share.
That was deep.
Sing. All right, go.
And so,
what's happening, Cargo? Listen, so if we can bring them up, we have special people that are going to sit on with us tonight. They're going to go in and out and help us. Here they are.
Here they are, the Smiths.
Can you clap your hands or clap your keyboard or type in your keyboard? And welcome Team Smith, Carlton, and Sharetta. These are great people. Welcome you to tonight live.
I feel like I'm being bit up.
See, we ain't even started talking. She already out here pitching and fidgeting and scratching and stuff.
No, like the outdoors.
Listen, ain't nan bug around nowhere. Turn it up so I can hear them more. I think we had turned it down. But welcome, Carlton and Sharetta. These are precious people. Yes. They've been consistent with us, always served well, and they're always texting and emailing. You know, what do y'all need us to do? How can we help? That is so precious. They help us with couples therapy, and they've been there and seen how that goes, and the grace that's on that, the beautiful side and the brutal side of it. So we appreciate them.
And they do the married life class.
They do the married life class, the premarital class, or class in general. Yeah. Help us with counseling. They set up the fabulous trip we went on last year.
Yeah,
to
Mexico.
To Mexico. Was it Mexico or Mexico?
We need to go now.
Yeah.
Right, it's time to go again. Come on.
We go right now. And I'm gonna do something when this world opens back up. But I don't know if you're gonna do a married life trip this year. I don't know. But last year was great. You're gonna cut it out. Ain't nothing out here.
You know, when you start thinking something out here, feel like everything is
before we started, I was nervous because I'm like, the wind is blowing, and it may not work. The wind done went down and all of that, and she out here still fidgeting. But who that driving up here that fast?
I don't know. The speed limit is 25.
Okay, so you get it. So okay. Hey, Yolanda Walker was in the class. She says great class. And Amina says, what is that? Rita?
Ready and Carlton.
You know what? Oh, say something to the people, Carlton and Sharetta.
Hey, y'all, what's up? How y'all doing? Pastor Reggie, though. I'm the third Reginald. That's my middle name. So
is it?
Yeah.
I never knew that, but I always knew there was something great and special about you. People with that name, man, I'm telling you, I didn't know your name is Carlton Reginald Smith.
Yep.
Man, look at I never knew that. That's great revelation. Well, thank you all for y'all just said hi. Say something else. Turn it up. I can't hear them.
Okay.
Turn it up some more. I got to hear them. My neighbors probably figuring out. See, where we live, it's like 1,000% quiet over here. Right. They probably figure, what's going on the porch tonight?
Listen. And enjoying yourself. That's what we do.
Come on, they'll be okay. So
they can get some of this wisdom too.
Did y'all share y'all thoughts? Any revelation y'all got? Anything I want to say to the great people?
No. So we've been serving with you guys for what, like 9 years? Now it's been a long.
It's like 2011, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us this. How did you end up at Lifeline Church? I like this story. Tell them.
So we were coming to a married life because our friend Layman told us, oh, yeah, I got to check it out. We went to come, and we couldn't get nobody's park on Austin Boulevard. You understand?
Like 3 or 4 blocks. And I'm like, man, it's like this on a Saturday night? Okay.
So we couldn't get no park. And so we was like, we're going to come back again because whatever is popping in there on a Saturday night church house, we're going to have to come check it out.
Y'all didn't stay the first time.
We did not stay the first. We couldn't get in.
Oh, wow.
There was no parking.
Oh, wow.
So end up coming back again.
Second one.
To the second one, and I don't think you've been able to put us out since.
And
That's what we've been.
So Married Life drew you guys in a sense.
Absolutely.
And now you're serving in Married Life and helping us help couples all over the place. That is great stuff. And that's really what Married Life is all about. It's about helping couples win, and not from a position of we got it all together. And it's not to boast. There is a grace on our life for marriage, but we always tell our people in our church, we grow together. Yeah. We're growing together. What we're going to talk about tonight, we walk through that every day. Every day we're walking through our communication. Every minute. Like today we were just talking about tonight and what we're going to share and how we're going to share. And she was acting like she didn't want to say nothing. I'm like, how are we going to talk about communication? Are you struggling with communicating with me right now? So we deal with this daily. It's a journey. And we don't sit up high and say, we got it. Y'all come on up here with us. We're working this thing out. That's a beautiful thing about it, that we all get to take this journey together. And so we got some goodies for you. They're going to be watching close. Watch, because once we get to talking, we forget. Mm-hmm. So if you have questions or even suggestions or comments, please type them in. They're going to grab them. We're going to post them up. We're going to talk about them. We're going to bring you into this conversation. So let's do this together. If you are unmarried and you're thinking about being married, you should be on here. Tag somebody, bring them on. If you've been married before and it didn't work, you had some challenges, hey, let's get the wisdom for the next time. If you are married, I can promise you, if you're married, you deal with communication issues. Mama said, take off my glasses. Okay. See, when Mama talk, you got this what I don't understand. I am 47. I'll be 48 in a couple months. And Mama said, take off your glasses, and I take off my glasses.
You didn't even blink.
Right,
You didn't even blink.
He said nothing. He said why?
So,
nothing.
and my point is, I don't get this new generation with the level of dishonor and disrespect we have toward.
Why?
Come on, Mama said, take off your glasses so we can see your face. Glasses off. Class continues. Okay. But what was I saying? You threw me off though, Mama. What was I saying? What was I? I was on something. Help me, Carlton. What was I on? Yo, back into
Communication.
And how it's not working today.
I was saying something. Oh, we growing together. We gonna learn together. So jump in here.
Y'all pray for me.
Ain't no bugs out here.
They in my mind.
So okay.
That's the salt from the Albanese candy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is. So if you're watching again, that we're on YouTube, and you may not see like certain people or certain numbers because it's split up. There's some people watching from my page, went live from there. Some are watching from Lifeline's page. Some are watching from Married Life's page, because I wanted to make sure we're on all the platforms and YouTube. Nonetheless, you're on here. You respect your parents regardless of how old you are. Absolutely right. There's biblical laws connected to that, but this ain't the call for that one either. Let's get into some things here, because communication is real big for us. I believe you can trace everything back to communication. I really do. You said that can't be true. We've proven that in all of our counsel and in our classes. When you start digging, at some point you dig, and you hit it. It's like, see, there it is. Same thing. You hit that communication piece where, and it's loaded. It's so bigger than what we think it is. London and I were sitting on the bed the other morning talking about it, and we're talking about even growing up, how we didn't learn what we're teaching now. Most of our homes did the best they could with what they had, and they did what they were taught. They brought us as far as they can bring us. And so most of our homes were not communicating homes. Right. We didn't sit down and have thorough conversations, and we just didn't do a lot of that. It doesn't mean we didn't love each other. It didn't mean we had issues necessarily, but we just didn't do the things that we've learned we should be doing now. I will say this, although we didn't look at it or didn't see it then as a bad thing, it was dysfunction. Because what happens is, as you now grow into adulthood, You just don't pick those things up. You end up becoming an adult, getting married, and realizing I'm missing something here. I don't know how to talk to London. I don't know how to listen to London. She don't know how to hear me without hearing me through her past or whatever. And it all goes back to us sitting down, breaking down, looking through this communication piece. What's your style of communication? We're going to talk about that tonight too. I think we struggle around, we don't understand styles. And we want everybody to talk like us. Yeah. And you gotta talk where people are, not where you are all the time. Because if not, you miss the understanding piece. And so let me ask a question. What's your style? What's your style of communication? Now, before you get into the big list and all the stuff you've heard, we're only going to deal with 2 tonight. And I'm going to deal with these for about 15 minutes and we got something else. We're going to deal with 2 styles. Emotional, and if you're taking notes, you can write it down, and rational. Emotional and rational. What's your style? What's your style of communication? Which one are you? Don't just take the note, but locate yourself. Which one am I? And it's not based on gender, because people say, well, women are emotional, men are rational. I know some emotional men and some rational women. And I know some people, like I asked her this morning, was like, well, which one are you? She's like, depending on the situation, I could be both.
Be both. In the same conversation.
I could be emotional, you know, and yeah, in the same conversation. I can go on and off based on what we're talking to, what height the conversation reaches. But
what you're hitting.
Let's what you're hitting. Let's break it down. Somebody say, I can't answer yet. I gotta know what it is. Let's break it down. Emotional communicators express themselves based on their feelings. Very, very feeling oriented. Their interpretation, they interpret their hearts through sometimes crying, yelling, screaming. They're very emotional, as the title says. In some cases, they're yelling. Their nonverbal is off the charts. So this is an emotional communicator. They sometimes forget the issue because they're so emotional. And when you get emotional, it takes you through all these other places you didn't even plan on going. And so they're not issue oriented. They're feeling based. That's an emotional communicator. Anything else you want to add to that? Anybody else want to drop something in there about that? So that's emotional. Rational are people who process, think through before they start talking. Yeah. You can be talking to a rational communicator and they won't say anything. Not that they're ignoring you, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to locate the real issue. They're already looking for a solution. They're trying to figure out if you lying or not. They're going to figure out
how they're going to answer.
How they're going to answer you. So they're solution driven. This is rational.
Goal oriented.
They express themselves based on the facts. They may not do a lot of yelling and screaming and going off outside the line, but based on the facts, they're going to talk to you. No, I hear you, and you can be yelling. I hear you, but you got here at 5 o'clock. That's your rational communicator. And you can say what you want to say. When you get through yelling, you got here at 5 because when I was on the phone and my thing said it dinged when the door opened, so I know you got here at 5 o'clock, and then you left back out at 5:15 because I turned the alarm on and you did this. And they're very detailed and fact and goal and solution driven. They if they have opinions, they're framed properly. They're not just yelling off things and stuff like that. So that's just a little definition. You got anything that's going to add to that? No. So emotional and rational. Come on, let's see. Which one are you? Yes.
Yes. Somebody asked the question, can you be both?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. You can be. Now you can be heavy on one side, but like I said, depending on the situation, depending on what we're talking about, you can be both. I know very rational communicators, but you hit something in them and they become emotional right away. And usually that's when you have pushed them to some degree. And so yes, Bridget, you can be both. But you do have one that's heavier than the other. Yeah. So those that are saying both, true, Serena, true. I would say I would agree with Serena. I think I'm both.
Me too.
But my heavy side. What would you say my heavy side is?
Oh, your heavy side.
Come on, give it to me.
You express your feelings. I would say probably emotion.
Yeah.
How you trying to get me to switch my answer?
No. Because you ain't giving the answer. You fishing. Which one am I?
I'm looking at the definition again.
Okay, look at the definition.
All right. You express yourself based on your feelings, your interpretation, and your heart. You are emotional.
You think so?
Yeah, you express your heart. You express your feelings, and you express a lot of it.
Okay, and which one are you?
I mean, like I said this morning, at any given point, I can be both. Mm-hmm. But I think my heavy side is rational.
It's rational. So
am I right?
You're right. So I'm emotional. I can be very rational. I'm emotional, but she's rational.
Not in the anger or yelling and all of that stuff, but I think more so as you like to express your heart.
Yes, but I don't.
And sometimes you do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fluff it up. Sometimes I go there, based on what's happening with the children or you or whatever. I'm an emotional communicator at times.
Yeah.
And I say at times it's my heavy one, but it is still at times. And you're rational, because sometimes I'm coming out the gate, and she's sitting there looking like, okay, because I'm just trying to figure this all out. And
trying to figure how to process.
And I'll respond in the morning. And I'm like, wait a minute, in the morning.
Yeah. He want me to respond right away. It's like,
and so we're gonna talk about how to deal with that. Somebody says here,
she's both, but her emotional side is a lot heavier, Katrina said.
Yeah. Or Serena says maybe more emotional. Okay, good. All right, so Eric said Katrina is emotional in the name of Jesus.
Eric, okay. Don't start on here. I ain't got to be at home with you.
Yeah. So we got to help you, because what do you do, and how do you deal when you have two different styles, and seemingly like it seems like you can't dance together, because communication is like dancing. And other than that, we don't dance a lot. We don't dance enough. But when we do, and if you watch us, it's kind of awkward.
Right.
I'm making sure I don't step on her feet. I'm making sure we're going to the right at the same time, whatever. And we do more trying to not do it wrong than just enjoying the dance.
Flowing with it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Communication is like that. It's learning to dance with each other over time.
To flow.
And flow. And I feel like if you've been in any relationship for any amount of time, and you still can't do the simplest of dance without stepping on each other's feet, without getting frustrated because you ain't dancing and you going to the right, then something is severely wrong. Okay? Because over time you should get better. Notice I said we don't dance for a living, but when we do, I don't care if it's 3 times a year, it shouldn't be like 8 years ago when we first started doing it. There should be some progress in it. And if you are one who says, I don't care how we talk, I don't care how we communicate, it always ends up going left. Somebody steps on somebody's feet, we out of control. Something is wrong with that. And we're gonna help you tonight. We're gonna help each other tonight. So what do you do when you have 2 different styles? And it seems like you blame your communication not working based on you having 2 different styles. You're never going to be exactly the same on everything. You know why? Because you're made different. And when you come together, you're coming together with your world and her world, and now we got to figure this thing out. So what do you do? What do you do when you have 2 different styles and it seems as if it's still not working? Number one, let's jump down. I'm gonna jump around here. You got, and this is gonna sound real crazy, like I shouldn't have to do that because we think we should change our spouse. You got to accept the difference. One of the reasons you can't talk and you can't communicate and don't have any success with it because you're spending more time trying to change the other person. You must accept the difference. So yeah, I got some points and I'm going to go out of order with them because I'm just kind of flowing here. But you got to accept the difference. Accept the difference.
Accept that she or he is different than you. They were created different than you. Everybody has a purpose. We all have a purpose, even in our marriage. So trying to change the other spouse is like trying to change what God said about them. And that's not something that we could do or something that we should do.
I think when you aim to always change, you're violating how God made them. You're violating the creative grace on their life. So you got to accept the difference. The quicker you accept it, the better. Write that down. The quicker you accept it, the better.
And the less frustrated you'll be.
Yeah.
Because when you try to change someone 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, they won't change.
Yeah.
And then so if you continue to do that, you'll be frustrated, they'll be frustrated, and then you'll live in frustration.
And just because you're different doesn't mean you can't dance together.
Right.
You can still dance together. It's going to take, listen, watch this. It's going to take, you know what I'm going to say?
Work.
It's going to take work.
Work.
It's going to take work. It's going to take work.
You can't get around that.
Yeah. I hate that we had to cancel our dance outing.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Because it would have went well with what we're talking about tonight, because we're going to teach you some dances, hire a dance instructor and all that stuff. But like, I don't know how to tango. But in order for us to go to Delvin and learn how to tango, we got to both listen
for instruction
and be willing to do the work, be willing to follow the instruction.
Right.
And we can take a class. I don't know if Delvin is on. If so, speak up. Shredder, y'all look for him on here. If you're on, I think it's as simple as that. Get the instructions, follow the instructions, and do the work. Do the work and practice the instructions. And then after a while, we'll be able to tango together. Okay. If we get the instructions and don't do the instructions, we'll come back next month and say, no, I still can't do it. And I still can't do it. And we'll start finding reasons of why we can't, except for just being honest about we just didn't do the work.
Right. So
just because you are different doesn't mean you can't still dance together. Accept the difference. Here's what you can do. Thank them when they get it. This is still under accept the difference. Because we're different, and sometimes we criticize and make a big fuss about the differences, and we don't acknowledge and accept or thank our spouse when they get it. So if I am a certain type of communicator, and I do something, let's just say I don't listen well, and London's talking to me, and she realizes, man, he's listening. He listened to me today. He heard me. It won't hurt her to say, thank you for listening. That encourages me to know that, yeah, because usually you're an idiot and you don't listen, but thank you for listening today. And
see, the opposite of that is you never listen.
You never listen. You never listen. You never listen.
Yeah.
Or and
you finally listen.
Yeah, you finally listening to me.
Yeah, and that gets us
that kind of stuff helps nothing. Again, it's not one of the points tonight, but remove petty from your marriage. Take petty off the table. Okay. Too much petty.
A mess.
Too much petty. When I'm counseling people, you know, we're digging, right? We're counseling people. And you get to the issue, and it's about this big. You got to go through layers of petty first. All the petty and immaturity and all the crap that we just won't let go of, just to get to the point here and give them, 2 scriptures and a point. Like, I'm okay, thank you, Pastor. But you have to get through all that petty. Get rid of the petty. Okay, so thank them when they get it. Because if you don't do that, you can either do that or you can self-destruct. So accept the difference. Write that in there. Accept the difference. There will be differences based on our life experiences, based on our historic makeup, based on our dealings with past friends and family and even strangers, and understand that certain things that we are criticizing and so upset with our spouse about, these are not things they chose to do. These are things that came a part of their makeup, and they're ingrained in how they do things. They're a part of who they are, in a sense. And not saying it can't be changed the right way, but you got to accept that difference.
And in order for that change to happen, the person needs to feel or know that it needs to be changed, to know that it's maybe destructive for them to change, instead of being told, hey, you need to change.
That's good.
You have to know within yourself, hey, if I'm not a good listener, I know, maybe I grew up in a household where nobody listened, we all yelled, but I have to come to myself and say, hey, I need to listen, really, and then I'll change. So you telling me you need to listen, that will just get you nowhere. I have to come to myself and know that, hey, I need to change, and then work towards that change.
Me pushing you to change is one thing.
Yeah.
You realizing that I need to is a whole nother thing.
Because even with the change, when you got to think about, if you want your spouse to change, what's the motive behind that? Is the motive behind that a selfish motive, or is the motive behind that to actually help your spouse? So you got to work through that too. I always bring both sides of the coin here, because there's something both of us have to do in this. But I would say, what's your motive for wanting your spouse to change? Is it so they can be like you, or is it so they can be all that God has created them to be?
And motive, all that stuff is so good.
It's important.
I'm still stuck on me trying to get you to, but you realizing you need to. That's a big thing.
You got it, because when you realize and when you come to yourself, like the prodigal son came to himself, that's when you make moves.
Yeah.
As long as he was out there, doing what he was doing or whatever, it wasn't until he came to himself. So it's not until we come to ourselves and know that, hey, this is self-destructive for me.
Yeah.
That's when you make a change.
And that's accepting the difference, understanding the difference is helpful, because you may need to sometimes be the emotional one. Not it just happened. You may need to. Sometimes you being the chill one, a situation may not call for you to be the chill one.
Right.
And so understanding that we're different also makes you understand that in order for us to dance, because we're different, grace is needed. To dance together with all the differences, to learn to communicate together with all of our differences, requires grace. It requires grace. It requires grace to grow, to win, to do this thing together. So there are differences, but if you put grace on the table, you'll be okay. Never leave grace out of your covenant. Never leave grace from being a part of what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So accept the difference. The other one is, now I see some things here. I want to address one of these real quick. You just moved it.
Oh.
Somebody on here about her husband says she talks like a lawyer. Y'all see that, Sharetta?
Yeah.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah. He says I talk like a lawyer, but I've tried to talk different. It's just not me. I'm a straight shooter.
No filibuster.
I got 3 more points, but let me help you with that. Let us help you with that. He says I talk like a lawyer. That's strong right there, which means he always feels like he's being interrogated. He's being questioned. He's not being trusted. You're always digging. But I've tried to talk different. It's just not me. I'm a straight shooter. A straight shooter and a lawyer are 2 different things. So you're talking like a lawyer, and you're confrontational. You're right in his face with it. What he's telling you is both of those for him are overwhelming. They don't work for him. Our answer can't always be, well, that's just who I am. Because what you're telling your spouse is, I know what you're saying you need from me. I can't give you that. I can't not talk like a lawyer. I can't not be aggressive, confrontational, and a straight shooter. I think there's a time for everything. There's a time to say, now where you been? And there's a time to get up in your face and say, now wait a minute. But if that's all you do, and he's telling you, hey, that's too much for me.
And he probably shuts down.
I can almost promise you he does. Especially because already men have a short fuse when not being treated and approached like a man. Not just from your spouse, just period. You know, men have a thing about not being approached as a man, or feeling like their dignity or something is being stripped away or disrespected. You know, real big on respect, especially when it comes in the home from their children or spouses or whatever. So honey, we can't ignore the flags our spouses are waving. He's waving the flag saying, what you're doing, I can't take. I don't like. It's too much for me. It's overwhelming. You cannot ignore that. Now, as we get into more of this, look for some answers, some more practical answers for what you just stated there. But I'm not negating how you are or how you do things. I'm telling you, the Bible says there's a time for everything. And you got to know how to bring balance to that. You got to know how to, when you need to talk like a lawyer, or when you need to be comforting, and when you need to be less critical, and you got to know what to do. And
it's part of the dancing.
It's part of the dancing. It's a part of dancing. Yeah. And sometimes, baby, it's just a slow dance. We're gonna get real close. You're gonna lay your head on my shoulder, I lay my chin on your neck or whatever, and we're gonna squeeze in, and I may squeeze your booty. We're gonna just stand there, even if we rock a minute or don't rock at all. We slow. It's a slow thing. It's a moment. It's sensitive. It's intimate or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then there's a time when you gonna pop lock and you gonna throw that booty. You gonna go all out and you gonna do what you do and you gonna smack it and all that. You got to know when to dance. You know what? Hey, Sharetta, y'all get on. What are these dances they doing now? Everybody acting like they nuts or whatever. You know, but there's a time for all of it. But you just can't always want to slow dance or always want to pop that booty or whatever the songs are. You got to know what and when. You got to know what and when. So accept the difference. Number 2, validate while talking. Validate while talking. Yes, Cargo. Yes, the prophet Kenny Rogers, I think he passed away, rest his soul. He says you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Validate, number 2, while talking. What does that mean? That means recognize and acknowledge the points your spouse twerking. That's what it is, Octavia. Twerking. Come on, hey.
I don't know how to.
So you know how to twerk.
No,
come on.
I don't.
All right. So it is
validate while talking.
Validate while talking. It is recognizing the point your spouse is making. When your spouse is talking to you, and they're sharing their heart and they're pouring things out, you can't just sit like this. You gotta acknowledge the points that they're making.
So like just repeat what they're saying is what you're saying. But I see that you're saying this.
You can say yes, or I hear you. Now listen, validate. Write this down. Validating while talking does not mean you understand. It just means that I'm letting you know that I'm listening and you're not in this conversation by yourself.
So that's how you be feeling when I just be saying nothing. You feel like you in the conversation by yourself?
Sometimes. But I know she's a processor. She's a, what did we just say? You're rational. And so she's processing, she's thinking through, she's trying to get her response together. And that may be tomorrow.
And I'm listening.
It may be tomorrow, it may be the day after, but she's getting it together. But you gotta validate while talking. You gotta let me know that I'm not in this conversation by myself. It doesn't mean I understand yet. I might have to still process and even ask you some questions when you finish or whatever, or ask you something the next day so we can get understanding. But I can't just allow you to do all this talking and I just sit. And it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes she does that, but I know why she does that. But again, we got to learn how to dance. Because I'm sitting there thinking, I just shared everything and you ain't said a word. And so when that happens, you can think a whole lot of things. Are they even listening? You know, does she even care what I'm saying? And what's going on? And
on the other end, I'm thinking I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to make sure I maybe season my words. You know,
because
that's
and we understand that now. Mm-hmm. But I would tell her before, that's offensive. I'm talking and you just sitting here looking. You're not saying anything. You're not speaking back. I've talked now and now I'm done, and there's nothing. And I got to say, you got something to say? You add something? You want to say something? Yeah, I'm just kind of, you know. It could be offensive and it could make you stop talking. And so we had to talk through that. Now you said, y'all talking about talking. Yeah, we talk about talking. We talk through everything because that bothered me. It was a problem for me. And I had to find out, why are you doing that?
I think sometimes for me, I didn't want to interrupt him while he was talking. So I think sometimes during this process, you have to interrupt because, like you said, you have to validate the feelings. So in order for me to validate it while we're talking, I'm going to have to interrupt you.
Absolutely.
So, but I think interrupting was an issue in the past. Like, you won't let me finish what I got to say. So it's almost like dealing with, you know, what happened in the past, you know, putting it with today's terms, trying to figure out where do I land.
London's sometimes too rational. She tries to figure everything out.
That's the accountant in me.
She tries to think through everything. And sometimes
she'll
think herself in the corner and then she don't say nothing. Because you're trying to consider all the different positions and should I say or shouldn't I say or what, and then you end up just not saying anything, and that's not good as well. I want to see these comments up here. Can you hit it says new comments there? Yeah. I would rather be interrupted. Yeah. I don't look at it. That's, again, let's get this straight. That's how she looked at it. I don't look at it as her interrupting me. I look at it as we're having conversation. I talk, you talk. Sometimes while I'm talking, you start talking over me, and I back up, and then you say your point.
But in the past,
that was a long time ago.
I know, but when you communicate, sometimes you go back to the last deposit.
But that wasn't the last deposit. That was a long time ago, and it wasn't a matter of you interrupting. It was a matter of when you would start talking, it wouldn't be what I had said, because we had learned that too. Although you can talk for 20 minutes and somebody hears something different. And so she would start responding to me based on something that I didn't even say. And I would be like, let me finish. Let me make this clear. Then I realized, even if I made it clear, she still heard some difference. We had to travel back through that whole thing and went through some stuff in her past or why she hears like that. And a lot of it, we both dealt with rejection. And when you hear through rejection, man, it tears up all your communication and all your trying to relate and things like that. So that's a whole other thing. But this piece about validating while talking seems small, but it would mess with me, man. It would mess with me. And so I had to say, hey, listen, wait a minute. What is the deal with this? And we worked through that and we talked through that. Here you go. And we still are. Because I don't think you ever get to the point of saying, we made it to the top of the mountain. Carl and Sharetta, we up here. We're good now. Thank y'all for hanging with us. If you need something, let us know, because we got all the answers on this thing here. And we have solved all of our communication issues. It's every day. It's every hour. It's good, it's bad, it's beautiful, it's brutal. It's what did you just say? It is, oh, we good, let's get some ice cream. We're gonna have a great day. It's getting to get the ice cream, and then why you slam the door? And it's just it's all everything.
Now I want to say this. I just thought about this. A part of dancing in this whole communication, which you having a rational and an emotional communicator. I would say that the emotional one should probably determine the best time for communicating too. Because I know for him, sometimes, we've gone through our day and he's done what he's done. I'm done what I've done. I normally go to bed earlier than he does.
Mm-hmm.
So when he comes in, he's ready to talk and I'm half asleep. I'm like, okay, so some of that is me processing, some of it is me being half asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think figuring out the best time to communicate, or if you know your spouse goes to sleep early, don't come in at midnight trying to have no full-blown conversation.
It's a balance.
Because my eyes just be,
Listen,
you be holding them eyes with some toothpicks, like, please help me because I can't stay woke.
It's a balance. Eric Hill, I was just going to ask you about Eric's comment. It's a balance because I feel like it's give and take. Sometimes if I'm tired or she's tired, but the other person wants to talk, we got to give in. And then sometimes you got to respect the fact that, man, they tired. Give them this moment. Let them go in and get their Z's in. But it's a balance. It's not.
That's part of that. So you got to know when.
Right. It's not. Yeah. I know she go to bed at a certain time, so I can't never talk to her after this. No, that ain't how that works. And so sometimes late, she's on calls late with the women. Y'all be on there chatting up and y'all
he
chat
be on there with the
talking,
wise men and the covenant men.
And then we'll get off of our calls and want to come up and talk.
Yeah.
And the other one either sleep already or doing something or watching something on TV. And sometimes, you know what, go and watch a show. And sometimes, no, pause that. Let's holler for a minute. I want because sometimes things are so
got to get it out.
You just want to share it with somebody. And I don't want to wait till in the morning. So wake up, whatever.
Toothpicks.
I'm eating something. You must have got on late. I'm eating Albanese world's best gummy bears. I'm telling you, go to Maryville, Indiana, take a drive to my, and get you some of these from the outlet up there. What Eric. You want to know, Dakari? Eric, now only thing is, let me get out what I'm saying, then answer. Geez. I like the Geesh part because I get you. I think that's a part of dancing too, though. Sometimes sometimes we both get emotional in conversation, and expressive, and you're dancing. Before I finish my last line, you're on your line, and you gotta just get in where you fit in. But that can't be lopsided. That can't be every time I talk, you cut me off and I don't get to finish. That's a problem.
And it can't be the other way either. Every time I don't want you to interrupt me. Oh, no. What?
No, I don't know what you're
it's two different ways.
Go ahead.
Whatever you said, it can't be. It can't be. Right.
So you don't even know what you're trying to say.
No, I do.
Draw back.
I know what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I don't know. Let us know. Do y'all know?
Y'all know.
The Kari said, "I want to know too."
That ain't what he tried. He said that about something else.
No, but it goes with this too.
So it can't be lopsided.
You got me itching now.
It's these bugs.
I ain't no bugs. Okay, all right.
It gets in your head. It gets in your head.
Saretta, come back up. Put them back up.
No, what I'm saying is, it can't be like you shut up and listen, or you always interrupting me. Yeah,
Okay.
Can't be all or nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Y'all know what I'm saying.
Number 3. Yeah, lead them up for a minute because I want y'all to jump in. Number 3. Number 3 is this. Sometimes it is what you say.
Oh, add it again.
Because we always teach, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. No, sometimes it is what you say. Mm-hmm. And we can't focus on the reaction and the behavior and act like what you saying don't carry. But what you say, man, listen. Yeah. It carries the weight. And when you say certain things, and I'm in the heat of that moment, receiving what you're saying, it's hard for me to now step out and say, you know, but I understand he don't really mean that because he really do love me. You don't, nobody think like that when you're in those moments. I just heard what you just said. You just released something.
I ain't trying to hear
right. So I know, because I would always tell her, you know, my heart and what I'm saying.
I know what you said, Frank.
I love you, and that never changes. So in these moments, we just be talking. No, it is sometimes what you say. Yes, I don't think it's malicious, like intended to harm, but it's still yet harmful, and you are responsible for that. You are responsible for not causing harm best you can to your spouse.
But sometimes, Pastor, too, I think we get so caught in trying to not hurt their feelings that we won't be honest sometimes. Like, sometimes I need to tell you this exactly how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to hear it just like that, because somebody else gonna tell you. They're not gonna spare your feelings. So why can't we be in this space and you trust me enough to know that I'm not being malicious, or I'm not being spiteful, I'm not being petty, but I'm telling you this because I love you. Now, I'm not cutting your head off, but sometimes you need to hear it.
No, that
like even with your kids, you rather them hear it at home from you than to get out somewhere and somebody say something to them.
I think it's a process. You don't just start jumping down that throat. You know, there's a level of trust you have to build up before I'm brutally honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have any of these tools. So, like a lot of guys, my father was, I paid the bills, I did my job, that was my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that we dialogue about and how we dialogue, I never saw it. So for the first, we've been there, 21 years? The first 15, you could scrap those. Because I didn't know how to do the dance. You know what I mean? When I came out the corner, it was like a boxing match. It wasn't dancing because I had never seen it.
Wow.
So if you've never seen it, how are you supposed to start? And it wasn't like I was trying to be malicious. I had just never seen it. I didn't know any better. So you even ignorant to the fact that you don't know.
Wow. Now what Sharetta said was key, and a lot of us did not know. Is it because we did not know that what Sharetta says is not received when I gotta just come out the gate sometime and tell it to you like I gotta tell it to you? Why is that not received though? Why do you think it's not received?
I think sometimes I think about us with finances, right? When we were having financial struggles, right? And I was spending up everything that wasn't nailed down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing stuff. So it's like, I can only ask you so many times to say, hey, I need you to do this, or I need you to do that. And it came to a point where it was like, hey, this is what I need you to do. I need you to hand me your credit cards because you're not looking out for what's best for our family right now. So give me that, give me this. I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to shut that down because I need you until you're able to be more responsible with everything.
So, so you didn't want to hear it.
I didn't want to hear it. Absolutely not. Because I felt like, hey, we'll figure it out.
And by the time I jumped in, it was already DEFCON 7. It was like, no, dude, you got to say something right now. This girl just hit an iceberg. No, you got to say something. There's we got to work into it. No, we got to say something today. So,
right. So, I mean, sometimes you do have to, well, I don't know. I don't know about once you get married, tiptoeing around things. I don't think, maybe I'm not saying it right, but I think once you're in the covenant, we should speak the truth in love, but I shouldn't be tiptoeing around you. And I need to say this, but I don't know. And we shouldn't be in that place. Now I'm responsible for how I communicate everything to her and her to me, but there should be no tiptoeing. This should be the safest person in the world you can talk to.
I think you grow into that though.
Yeah.
If you don't start there, because when you first get married, you still building trust. I'm still getting to know you. You still getting to know me. So sometimes you won't start there. You have to grow into that.
Now that's another conversation, because I don't think I've ever looked at it as when you get married, you start building trust. I think I always looked at it as when you get married, because you've been through counseling, you decided to spend your life with this person, you've said vows in front of the pastor and your witnesses, you start at trust. Now, what happens in that marriage can cause you to lose it and have to rebuild it, but you start at trust, because I shouldn't have married you if I don't trust you. So I think things you grow in things, but I think we start at love, we start at trust, we started all these things fresh because we just broke the covenant, and the fact that we broke the covenant means I love you, I trust you, I want to spend my life with you. Now you start diminishing those things based on everything you didn't learn, or you're now learning once you got into the covenant. It starts hitting against those things. That's why counseling is so important. It's like going to these seminars and retreats is important to keep building up stuff. But you start there. You know what I'm saying?
You start, but you still build. Once you start, it don't stop there. You continue.
Absolutely.
You continue to build on that trust.
But you said I can't. Certain things you probably can't talk because we ain't built that trust yet.
We didn't start talking or to like talk back to birth until.
That's because we didn't know it.
But we knew certain things.
Right.
Certain things we suppressed, but certain things we knew. Like I said, I wasn't telling him certain things. I was taking this to my grave. I trusted you, but I didn't trust you with that. So I think the trust was like at the surface, or
I see.
At the surface. But until I started divulging more stuff, that's when trust continues to build.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think a big thing in marriage too is with the whole communication piece, telling your spouse your breath stink. That's a big thing. Some people don't know how to tell their spouse that breath stink or that they stink. And Sharada, you talked about the kids. Yeah, we tell our boys, hey, you need to go take a shower, because if you go outside smelling like this, your friends gonna laugh at you.
Right.
And sometimes they gonna tell you, and sometimes they not gonna tell you. But that, for me, it took us a while to even say that. So he'll hand me a piece of gum or something, not even say your breath stink. It's just, this is our thing. If I hand you a piece of gum, that probably mean your breath stink. But that took something for us to even do that little small thing. Mm-hmm. So you don't start out the gate, girl, your breath stink. You have to build to that. Because when you marry, you getting to know each other.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, y'all got some on that?
Yeah, and I think that's, especially if you didn't see it, right? Like we learned with you guys to talk back to childhood. That was so pivotal in our marriage because it helped us unravel some things, understand some things, be able to talk about some things and communicate. Prior to that, we didn't, we talked about childhood, but we didn't talk about the depths of it. Not like that.
Like how we think that didn't happen.
So it changed. It made a whole different shift in our marriage, a mindset of how we think things through, how we communicate with each other. Like, it was very pivotal in our marriage with that.
Gotcha.
Or even why I do what I do. Some things I needed to change because it came from bad habits I saw. Like, whoa, I don't want to bring this forward. Let me kill this right now. This didn't work before. We're not doing it again.
Gotcha.
And even if she thought that was a bad habit, she could have told you that. But like I said before, it wasn't until you came to yourself that you made that change.
I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock.
Listen.
But let me give you this last point.
Question.
And we'll take a question. We'll end. Number 4. I'm killing this gummy bear. Number 4. Help me do better.
This is a good one.
Help me do better. Type it in. Stay with us. Don't go. You're on my page, on Lifeline page, on YouTube. Stay with us. Help me do better. Here is something we use in couples therapy. And they can put this up on the screen real quick. When you blank, I feel blank. And in the future, will you blank? Put that on the screen. I want them to see that if we can. This is how you help your spouse do better. When you blank, I feel blank. And in the future, will you blank? I think I sent it earlier. I hope I did. But I'll say it one more time because this is really going to help you. This is how I help London be better. And this is how London helps me be better. We use this sentence. When you blank, I feel blank, and in the future, will you blank? There you go. When you blank, I feel blank, and in the future, will you blank? Okay? So you share your feelings with your partner, with your spouse, as opposed to critiquing their behavior all the time. So let's do this. So when you're on your phone all the time, I feel neglected. In the future, will you plug where? Okay, she on the buzz now. Because what was I saying?
In the future, will you
put your phone away
during
after a certain time or whatever? It seems simple, but it's very huge. Because now I'm going to help you be better. You're going to help me be better. I told you what the problem was. I told you how I feel about it. And I told you what I need you to do. You can't get any more simple than that.
You don't have to figure it out.
You have to figure it out.
What should I do when this happens?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know you didn't like me on my phone. You're the time on my phone. I told you when you're on your phone, I feel neglected. I would appreciate in the future that once you get home and dinner starts or whatever, that you turn your phone off or you put your phone down. Just as simple.
And that's a lot better than saying you're always on
your phone. You can't even you come in the house, you're on your phone. That sounds better. Because nobody wants to be told what to do. That's just all of us are built like that in some ways. This way helps you or helps them do better. Right. Helps me do better. Take this, write it down, put it back on the screen for just a second. I want y'all to write this down, take a screenshot of this. I want you to use this as early as tonight. Before you go to bed, y'all have some kind of nightcap about the day, the week, corona, whatever, Lightfoot, whatever y'all gonna talk about. But then hit this right here. When you do this, I feel this. And in the future, you scratching and stuff these stores. She dumping and jacking. We almost done. Because I don't know if y'all can see now, it's black out here. Like yeah, black. And did the boys come in the house?
Yeah, I think so.
They did?
I think Justin was in there when I left them. They better be in there.
Oh,
it's dark.
They better not be at the park still. Okay, back to the thing.
When you
blank, I feel
blank.
And in the future, will you? So important. So the 4 things we gave you was accept the difference. Number 2, help us out here. Validate while talking. And then it was sometimes it is what you say. And then it was help me do better. You can't see that people, and we've given that exercise to people and they fought us on it. Like, how you fight that? I mean, I just don't think, no, it's real simple. This is a simple 1-line exercise that'll take your whole marriage to a whole different place, because I've identified something, I've expressed my heart, and I've given you what I need from you. Now, if you say I can't give you that, what you care about me on my phone for anyway, you again take the petty out. Take the petty out, okay? Because that's what's going to keep you from getting to the next place. This question came up. Did y'all get those 4 things? And did y'all hear what we said? Because I know we heard what y'all said on here. Thank y'all for being transparent and talking back to us as well. Yes, Dakari, this is great, okay? Is a lack of communication. I can't. Sonia Love. Sonjay.
Is a lack of communication because we are broken or just don't know how. Is a lack of communication because we're broken or just don't know how. What's the difference? Broken or not knowledgeable on communication?
It's all of it. It's all of it. We struggle with communication because we are broken. And we've suppressed so many things. And I just don't want to talk about it, because talking about things opens up other things.
Yeah.
Talking about things make it sometimes pulls scabs off of wounds that you don't want to deal with no more. And then the other part of it is we just haven't been taught how to communicate. We don't know how to have healthy sometimes conversations. We don't know how to confront without it going to the left. We don't, because there is a such thing as healthy confrontation. We don't know how to do that. A lot of us have not seen it modeled. We've only seen things go bad, things get chaotic, people leave, people don't come back, they divorce, whatever, relationships no longer exist. We've seen a lot of that model. We've not seen sit down, have a conversation, get to a resolve, get to some restoration, apply grace, apply mercy, and keep moving. We've not seen that. We've seen, oh, what? We done. Yeah, we've seen that model. Okay, and I'm not talking about your church, your co-workers. I'm talking about in our homes. I know people that don't talk to their brothers, they don't talk to their sisters, they don't talk to anybody because of something that has happened. He said, well, y'all need to talk. I don't talk to them, and I don't want. And they're both broken, they're both hurting, but they don't know how. So it's all of it, Sonjay. And I hope I'm saying her name right, Sonjay.
Sonjay.
What's the difference? Broken. Why you move it? I can't see it now.
Broken or not knowing how.
Or not knowing how. The difference with not knowing how is simply you've not been taught. And then the difference with the thing about being broken, something has hit your heart that has scarred you, that has offended you, that has caused hurt and pain that you'd rather not revisit again because hurt doesn't feel good. And so that happened. It broke me. It wounded me. I'm going to leave that sitting over there. And I'm going to try to move on best I can. And what you understand is at some point, that thing's going to come back up. And you're going to have to even internally deal with it. Even if you don't get to talk to people and reconcile with people, or people may never say they're sorry, that may never happen. You have to internally deal with that and get to a place of victory and health and freedom in it, okay? The bug hit you?
Yes.
She is going at it with these bugs. We're going to be finished in 1 minute. One more question. Oh, is there another question? Is a lack of communication? Oh, that's the same one. Are there any
there
more?
was another one. Octavia Woods.
Octavia Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, great talk, pastors, as usual. Shout out to the Smiths. Absolutely. We need to be able to be naked with our spouses, not just naked with no clothes on, but naked in every area of our life. Absolutely, Octavia. We have to be. There is no, I even talked about that. Maybe we'll do this next time. We shared about most people even have sex with their clothes on. They're naked, but their clothes are on. We'll talk about that next time because that's deep. That's deep. When you leave during an argument, Felicia LaShawn Brown, without a word, I feel abandoned. In the future, I would like you to finish the conversation or ask to take a minute for a timeout. Absolutely. Good class. She got it. She followed the exercise. That's what you do. This, Felicia, leads to healthy communication. It leads to peace. It leads to victory. And it's better than shouting, yelling, and you leaving again? Why are you always walking out? You always come. That helps nothing. It helps nothing because you can't properly say the right thing when you're heated and you're angry. And so what you just did, you followed the exercise exactly. If everybody does that, you'll see some results from this. Any other questions before we zoom out of here? Just cigarettes, girl. So what now? You see anything else on that, Smith?
No more questions.
Okay. Well. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, whether you're watching from my personal page, Lifeline's page, Mary Life page, YouTube. It seems to be total about maybe 70 people have been watching us tonight. That's great. We want to pick that up because this is so necessary.
And it helps you not just in marriage, it helps you in life.
And so I like Team Smith. They're going to help us keep this fresh and fun and not just you sitting in front of a computer and we just teaching you something all the time. I want to be, that's why I came out here.
I don't know about outside.
I know the bugs are kind of, because it's dark and we got the big light on, but that's why I wanted to just do something fresh, something different with it. And so hang out with us. If you got suggestions, hit the Married Life
Maybe we
page.
can do it in the garage
Um,
next
Yeah, because I'm itching now too.
time.
So hit the Married Life page or something like that. And give us, if you have any suggestions for Married Life. We had a dance. We had a dance. Michelle Antoinette, thank you all. Thank you for tuning in. We had a dance night, couples dance night. It was canceled because of COVID. We're gonna do that, but we do have coming up the last Saturday of this month, virtual game night, fun night. Okay, and so look for the announcements about that. We just want to help. There's so many, even during this time, we've been doing not live. We've been doing counseling via Skype or what's it, Zoom or stuff. We've not stopped serving because it seems like during this time things hit really hard with couples because we realized people were not used to being together so much. And some people's homes, all hell broke loose. And we have still been serving throughout this time. So thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Tomorrow night, hit my girl up. She's gonna be on Girl Chat every Friday. I just love them. They're doing such a great job with that, and she really enjoys that. It's refreshing for her. So don't miss those girls' nights. Tune in wherever you're from, wherever you are, and they just chat and have a good time. And then Saturday at main campus, we're having our first graduation for all of those that are graduating. That's a part of our church. You can watch it online. We'll be live at the church, but you watch it online. There's actually two of them, one at 10 o'clock and one at 11 o'clock. And we're going to have them come out. It's going to be held outside. It's going to be great. So let's get on and show them that you're watching and supporting. And I think we need to help these precious people create moments and memories since, what they're used to was taken away. And so we're going to do that on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're doing part 2 of the special presentation on racism. And this Sunday is called The Discussion. So if you saw last week was powerful. This week is going to be even greater. We're going to have some people sharing with us. And it's going to be great. I have a white pastor friend that's going to come and sit with us. And she says the mosquito net. Yeah, we need a net or something. I think it's this light. But yeah, don't forget about Sunday at 10 o'clock. Big weekend for us, busy weekend for us. We're gonna put on our mask and make it happen. But thank you all. Although this is ending, you still can share it. If you are watching us and you didn't share it, shame on you. Share the live, share them on your page. Tell your friends to watch it. Put their names in. Hey, say you need to hear this. You married to Jimmy. You and Lucius sit down and watch this cookie. Whatever you need to do. Okay. At the bottom of your screen, you want to be a blessing. You want to give, and you should go ahead. And you can cash out or mobile app or text to give. There's a line that'll say Married Life. Don't just give to Lifeline Church. This is Married Life. Go and hit the marriage thing. Give. It'll help us create more memories and moments for couples as we grow throughout this year. This year is not over. I don't care what has happened up to this point. COVID. We deal with COVID-19. We deal with racism 20. Everything is going on. But listen, it's not over. This year is not over. I still declare that this is going to be the greatest year of our life. And we end like we always begin with everything. Oh yeah, I forgot about this, Father's Day. Special presentation on Father's Day. We'll tell you about that later. But leading up to that, we want you to send your pictures in. Send pictures of you, your dad, father figure, mentors. Send them in, men. Ladies, men sometimes don't follow these kind of instructions. So you send it in for them. We're going to create something special to run across the screen and do on Father's Day. And that's going to be a very dope presentation. You don't want to miss that one either. But help us by sending your pictures in to Lifeline Chicago by this Monday. Yep. So we can give our media team time to put it all together. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Seth, thank you to Team Smith for joining us tonight and spending this hour with us. Thank you to media. Thank you to Sam for all the background work and putting this together and all the tech runs and everything he does. Thank you. It takes work to just sit here and talk for this hour. We're on our front porch. We got cords running everywhere. We got lights hooked up. We got to go put it back in the house. Right. Well, I do, because she's gonna run away from these mosquitoes as soon as we log off of here. But thank you, love you. All is well with us in our house and you and your house. Love you, and we'll see you ladies tomorrow, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We're back on in 2 weeks for another game night and lab session.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Love you all.
Bye.
See you later.
Right.